Hi, friends. Welcome to Direct Impact Broadcasting. The network of growth and transformation presents SOS for Leaders, where your host, Tywauna Wilson, will be sharing leadership and personal growth strategies. Let's jump right in.
Welcome to another episode of SOS for Leaders. I am your host and leadership mentor, Tywauna Wilson. A little bit about myself. I am the author of the best-selling book, Some Leaders Wear Lab Coats, founder and CEO of Trendy Elite Coaching and Consulting, where we work with medical laboratory professionals and high achievers to help them grow in their leadership, boost their visibility, and discover their unique power strengths so that they can get promoted in their careers and businesses. If this is your first time listening to the show, welcome. I am so glad that you landed on this podcast. I hope you leave with practical success tips that you can implement right away. If you could do me a favor and share this podcast out with a friend or colleague, I would greatly appreciate it. So let's jump into today's topic. Today's topic is talking about the people that you keep in your life. In today's time where all of us are very busy with people and maintaining relationships, we also are busy with our work and our family and just a bunch of things that are competing for our attention. We have to take a step back sometimes and evaluate those things that are important. And we have to evaluate where we're spending our time, where we're spending our minutes. And one of the first places to start is with the people that we have in our life. So today we're going to discuss a 4-step process for determining what people to keep in your life. Now, you have to determine individually, is that going to be Betty, Sue, or John? But we are going to talk about those 4 type of people that you need to keep in your life. We all know we need a social circle if we want to be healthy. But how do we know which people to keep in our life to create the best network possible? Sometimes this is very difficult because we've had people that have been in our life for a long time. And sometimes that's for the good and sometimes it might not be. And this process is easier than you think. By following these 4 steps, you will know exactly which is the best people to keep around you and which ones you might be better off without. Again, you have to determine after you get this 4-step process on if those people you are spending your minutes with, if they should remain in your life or not. So start with 5 people. Whether you realize it or not, the most influential people in our lives tend to be the 5 people we spend the most time with. To figure this out, start writing down the names of the people that you think you're with most often. And sometimes you may think you're with those people most often and it might not be. But write down how much time you spent with each in the last week. Hopefully you have some variety, and this list includes coworkers, family, and your closest friends. How many hours did you spend with each? And evaluate also the quality of time that you spent with each one. So, for example, you might not want to count the time you spent in a meeting with a coworker because you really didn't interact with them during that time. On the other hand, the 2 hours on the phone with your best friend would be considered a meaningful interaction. So that would definitely count. So write down those 5 people in which you think you spend most of your time with. And if you are unsure, you can always go to your cell phone and look in your favorites list and look at the 5 people in which you talk to most often. That might give you a clue on who are the people that you are spending most of your time with. So if you look in your 5 most talked to people that's in your favorite list, are those people that you expected to find there or not so much? The other step of the process is to analyze your 5. Now that you have your list, you should have a pretty clear idea of who the people are that get most of your quality time. So look at them each individually. What is their relationship to you? What role do they play in your life? What do they do for a living? What are their values? What are their dreams? What kind of attitudes do they carry? Are these people successful? Are they go-getters? Are they content? Do these people know who they are and what they want out of life? Do they embrace opportunity? Are they healthy emotionally? So analyze your top 5 that you have and write down those things about those people. This is important for you because there's something about those people that you like and you admire. And so what is it? So that way you're able to connect that with why you have them in your life. The third step would be, how do they support you? So how do these traits relate to you? How do they let their own attitudes influence how they relate to you? Are these people who push you to be your very best, or are they trying to hold you back at every opportunity? Do they build you up or tear you down? Do they have valuable knowledge to offer? Are you getting any insight from them? When you're around them, do you feel better about yourself? Do you feel at your best? Or do you feel like, they are a negative Nancy or bitter Betty? So evaluate, how do they support you when you think about what it is that you need? And then the fourth step of the process is make the call. I mean, you simply got to make the call, make a decision. Once you know these things, it should be pretty easy to know what to do. So if these aren't people who are supportive, perhaps it's time for you to make a change. And that's okay. It's okay for relationships to have a season. It's okay to let a relationship drop if it's not healthy for you. You don't want to be in a relationship that's not healthy or even toxic for yourself. On the other hand, it's absolutely imperative to start building relationships with people who are supportive of you. This is absolutely critical, especially if you have dreams that you want to pursue or goals that you want to reach. And if you are surrounded by people who are not able to support you, or go-getters or successful people, then it's going to be very difficult for you to keep moving forward. And so you want to make sure that you have people in your life that challenge you and support you to be better. Have you ever been around some of those people and they're like, I don't have anybody in my life that helped me dream? And so this is a perfect 4-step process that they could do to really figure out, where those strongholds are. And so I challenge you, especially as you continue throughout this week and you are going through the next chapter of your life and you want to move forward. Do you have the right people in your life that's utilizing the majority of your minutes? So the 4-step process is start with 5 people. Start with those 5 people and analyze those 5 people. After you start with them, you analyze those 5. You look at them individually. You see what their values are, what their dreams are, what kind of attitudes they carry. Then you want to evaluate, how do they support you? How do these traits relate to you? How do they let their own attitudes influence how they relate to you? Do they look at you as somebody they feel is successful? Do they look at you as somebody that they feel is supportive? Do they look at you as somebody that can motivate? Because it should be a reciprocal relationship. And then you have to make the call. The call is not going to be easy in some cases, especially if the people have been in your life for some time. But you do have to make that call. Remember, the 5 people closest to you should be the most supportive people in your social circle. So evaluate and adjust. I hope that you got something out of this podcast today. and you're able to apply. I hope that this 4-step process of determining what people to keep in your life was beneficial for you. If so, leave me a note. I would love to hear from you. If you want to be around people that are supportive, then join my group on Facebook, Tidbits with Coach T. Wilson. Would love to have you come in and participate in the group so that we can help you be supported. Thank you for tuning in to this episode. And until next week, into another amazing episode, I hope you have an awesome week.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of SOS for Leaders, where Tywauna shared nuggets of wisdom that you can use to win in life. Follow her on Facebook, Instagram, and connect on LinkedIn. And remember, the secrets of success in your life resides inside of you. When you know what your strengths are, you can utilize them to live an impactful and influential life.